In today's news video, we cover: dead Russian soldiers return home. China conducts military drills to counter Taiwan independence. Albania purchases military drones in preparation for worst-case scenario. Ukraine reports 920 Russian military casualties over the weekend. Enjoy watching and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on important news. A train carrying the corpses of dead Russian soldiers arrived in Russia last week, according to a Ukrainian intelligence report. The train arrived at Kemerovo Oblast in Russia from Rostov-on-Don in the southern federal district of Russia on January 5th. The bodies are set to be delivered to local morgues, as per a report published on Facebook by the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, UAF. The report did not specify how many bodies were loaded on the train. Russian occupiers continue to sustain losses. On January 5, 2023, a train with refrigerators filled with dead bodies of Russian military arrived from Rostov-on-Don to Kemerovo Oblast, Russia. The corpses are to be delivered to local morgues, the report read. The report comes days after Russian families buried at least 9 dead servicemen in the central region of Samara on the Volga River. The soldiers were among those killed in a New Year's strike launched by Ukrainian forces targeting the eastern town of Makiivka, the Moscow Times reported, citing local authorities. Ukraine claimed it killed at least 400 of Russia's draftees and injured 300 others in the missile strike in Makiivka. The Russian Defense Ministry, however, only confirmed the deaths of 63 service members. The attack in Makiivka is considered one of the deadliest strikes that the Ukrainian army launched against Russian troops since February. It also marked a rare case wherein Russia officially confirmed it suffered substantial losses in the war. On January 8th, the PLA Eastern Theater Command organized joint combat patrols of various types and branches of troops and practical military exercises in the sea and airspace around the island of Taiwan, Shi, spokesperson for the PLA Eastern Theater Command said in a statement posted on WeChat. The purpose of the drills was to check the joint combat capabilities of the troops and resolutely counter the provocative actions of external and separatist forces advocating for Taiwan's independence, the statement read, Sputnik reported. The situation around Taiwan escalated after U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi visited the island in early August. Beijing condemned Pelosi's trip, which it regarded as a gesture of support for separatism, and launched large-scale military exercises in the vicinity of the island. Despite this fact, several countries, including France, the US, Japan and others, have sent their delegations to the island since then, further increasing tensions in the Taiwan Strait. Taiwan has been governed independently from mainland China since 1949. Beijing views the island as its province. Beijing opposes any official contacts of foreign states with Taipei and considers Chinese sovereignty over the island indisputable. Albania is not currently under threat, but it is prepared for the worst-case scenario, said Defense Minister Niko Pelasher, referring to the purchase of Bayraktar drones from Turkey. In December, Albania purchased 3 Turkish-made Bayraktar TB2 drones, a model used by Ukraine against Russia, that carry lightweight laser-guided bombs. There is no signal to worry about any possible involvement of any military conflict for our country. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't prepare for even the worst day. In this context, also due to the geopolitical shock after the war in Ukraine, we decided to enrich our Air Force with a modern and highly efficient capacity, he told the media on Sunday. He added that Albania is a valuable member of NATO, the largest political and military alliance in the world, and that Albania is not currently under threat. His comments echoed those of Prime Minister Edi Rama when the drone deal was signed on December 21st. Rama said the vehicles were armed and ready to fight, which I hope will never occur. Also, a part of the deal is the manufacturing company training 30 members of the Albanian military on how to operate the drones. They will. Last year, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine claimed in its most recent casualty report released Sunday. Russian losses in the war also included 3,069 tanks, 6,130 armored fighting vehicles, and 2,065 artillery systems, among other pieces of military equipment, according to the updated data provided by the Ukrainian military. Russia carried out a missile attack on Kramatorsk, a city in Ukraine's partially occupied Donetsk province, in retaliation for a Ukrainian New Year strike that supposedly killed at least 89 Russian servicemen. While Russia's Ministry of Defense claimed the act of revenge resulted in the destruction of more than 600 Ukrainian servicemen, a Reuters team found that the two dormitories that were targeted appeared to have neither been directly hit nor seriously damaged. There were also allegedly no obvious signs that soldiers had been living in the buildings, nor were there signs of bodies or traces of blood. Kramatorsk Mayor Oleksandr Honcharenko did confirm that 2 school buildings and 8 apartment houses had been hit, but photos he posted showed no indication that it had been an attack on the scale claimed by the Russians, the Associated Press reported. Russia's claim of mass casualties was the Russian Defense Ministry's attempt to show it had responded forcefully to Ukraine's New Year strike, which caused an outcry in Russia, Serhiy Cherevadii, a spokesperson for the eastern region of the Ukrainian armed forces, said.